we thought that life was returning to normal, whatever that is. COVID and flu and RSV numbers are increasing, and we get a huge dump of snow, which keep us all mostly at home on this longest night. Perhaps it's for the best, even if it's not how we planned it. Thankfully, we have learned through the COVID years that we can be a community dispersed, connected virtually, and that it makes a difference to be together, even if it's only on a screen. Sitting beside each other in a Zoom room isn't the same as being in a common physical space, but none of us are alone at this moment. So I'm glad you're here, wherever you are. As the occasion of this Blue Christmas service has drawn near, some of us have been folding blue stars for you to share with you tonight. It's a lovely contemplative activity, well suited for the evening, and an occasion to think of how many different blues there are, even in blue paper. Pure blue is a primary color with an infinite number of shades, each changed slightly by adding a new little bit of color. You know that's true every time you try to match a paint color. So the blue stars that will be in this basket for you tonight are not all the same blues, and that's a lovely thing. I wonder if you could Google a color, and sure enough, you get a long and pretty interesting article on Wikipedia by just typing in blue. We're here this evening using blue to signify sorrow or melancholy, to feel blue. Blue is also identified as the favorite color of 50% of the population. Blue can signify the depth of this deep blue sea or the blue skies overhead. It can be harmony, faithfulness, and confidence, as well as boys, ice or cold, state fair ribbons, Democrats, giant stars, sapphires, suede shoes, the working class, as in blue collar, and Mary, the mother of Jesus. It's often used as the liturgical color of Advent. It is also the color traditionally associated with the Jewish celebration of Hanukkah, which we are in the middle of right now. Hanukkah commemorates the victory of the Maccabees over the Syrian Greek army and the subsequent miracle of rededicating the temple in Jerusalem and restoring its menorah, or lamp. The miracle of Hanukkah is that only one vial of oil was found with just enough oil to last for 1 day, and yet it lasted for 8 full days. It is another celebration of the light returning from the darkness. And this is not lost on the Jewish people of Ukraine, who have had their power grid repeatedly bombed with darkness descending into cold and isolation. The light of the menorah candles offers them hope that God's promises will hold. You've brought your own shade of blue with you on this longest night, which acknowledges a pain or a loss that you carry in the midst of this celebration. Christmas is a complicated season, and we bring our complicated selves to it. Tonight we acknowledge in a tangible way that there are people hurting in here and out there, that they go through this season with grief or sorrow, sometimes at the hand of the church. There is certainly no dearth of things by which to be troubled: lack of employment and mounting bills, separation from family or friends, the death of a loved one or a beloved pet, poor mental or physical health, a parent who no longer recognizes you, violence in our homes, communities, and nations, political animosity in our country such as has never been experienced, environmental degradation continuing. Tonight, as one of my clergy colleagues says, we are swimming in the deep waters. Santa is not enough. A blow-up nativity scene is not enough. Packed box stores are not enough. Sometimes even those we love are not enough, because there is a part in our spiritual selves that longs for the deep water of God and nothing else will do. Tonight we take the risk of getting real with ourselves at our own depths and getting real with God. The season of Advent calls us to look at what is real in our lives, what is the ground of our being, the rock on which we stand, the hope to which we cling. This season and this night ask, how do we get more real with God, with each other and ourselves? Barbara Crafton asks us to imagine being real in the world right now. We can't be what we used to be, and for some of us, that's real progress. Time passes, and we cannot be real and live in what once was, even if we view it as the good old days. There is no happiness and much despair to be found in trying to turn the clock backwards. Clocks don't run backwards. If we are to be joyful, it can be only as the person that we are right now, not as the person we once were, not as the person we hope to be one day. This Blue Christmas service imagines itself to be a holy container for our very real emotions. Tonight we come as our most real selves, like the Velveteen Rabbit of the beloved children's story, fur rubbed off, a bit threadbare, tail loose, and ears flopped. Tonight we approach God knowing that only God has love big enough to hold what we carry and receive the burdens that we need to leave at the manger tonight. Lives change in deep spiritual water. This was the longest night of the year, because at 1:47 this afternoon, the solstice passed, and the light has begun to return. 2 more seconds of daylight tomorrow, with more accelerating each day. These are the cycles of life, the tides, our breathing, the seasons. In each cycle, there is a point where movement must reverse itself and bend back in the other direction. A wave comes in and then goes out. Our breath comes in and then goes out. Daylight shortens and then lengthens. This place where the rhythm pauses and reverses is called a still point. It is then that it restarts itself, including this night of the solstice. This longest night, this Christmas, this incarnation, is a divine still point in the life of the world. We are poised now to reverse the darkness and welcome the returning light, solar and holy. The arrival of the Christ child begins the sanctification of all of our sorrow, all our fear, all the burdens that we bear. In the light of Christ, each ending brings a new beginning. A flashy miracle would be nice, but the truth of miracles is that they're generally not that obvious. They are found in the human heart, where love and compassion and generosity and forgiveness reside. This night says there is nothing wrong with you if you don't feel in tune with the external season. If you aren't captured by the holiday spirit and that you can't wait for the holidays to end. All our feelings can be intensely magnified this time of year. Being sad does not mean that you are not faithful. Pay particular attention to the 3rd verse that we're going to sing in the hymn right after the sermon. O come thou dayspring from on high, and cheer us by thy drawing nigh. Disperse the gloomy clouds of night, and death's bleak shadow put to flight. And rejoice. Our faith says that we turn day by day toward hope, to trust in God's promises made, that Emmanuel means God is with us, and that we are never alone. The Reverend Patrick Kaiser says that our Christian faith is not fleeting or artificial happiness, but an abiding hope through all the circumstances The gift that the birth of this child, Jesus, promises is that new life can come from unexpected places through the power of God. I'll conclude with a prayer from Bishop Stephen Charleston. If you haven't found him online yet, look him up. You won't be disappointed. Fill me again, Great Spirit, with all that I need to make it through this life of mine. Give me the vision I need to see clearly. Give me the strength I need to keep going. Give me the love I need to share with others. Let me have a little courage and a lot of wisdom, as much hope as you can spare. Please give me your blessings again, dear Spirit, for I use them up so quickly